Okay, hold on.
Shy, what is happening? We are live though, just so you know.
Oh, okay. We are live.
We are live. So we're gonna get some people to
Hey.
come on. Let's see. Okay, we are on. Let's see if we got some people coming on. What's up, y'all? Welcome to the It's Mental Podcast. I see we got one viewer. One person's watching us. Shy is fixing her hair because she says she's hot. So
I
that hair,
am.
that she don't want that hair hanging all on her skin
I
because
am
it makes it
hot.
hot. how long
And
you
it's
been
fun.
how long you been growing your locks, Shy?
As long as I'm not trying to put it in a style, it goes in the
Uh,
styles. As soon as I want to put it in a style, it looks crazy.
how long you been growing your hair?
6 year. Well, this is the 6th year.
Okay, six
Yeah.
years.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, y'all. So, hey, share this. If you're watching, share this right now. Share it to your Facebooks. Tag somebody. Tag a friend. Say hello. Let me know y'all are on. We here. We ready to go. Let's see. I'm trying to make sure we live on all of our platforms. Let's see. Let's see. Think so. I don't know. I don't know, Shy. I don't know what's happening.
Is it not going live?
I think
What up,
so.
though?
Hey, Denny Mo. Okay, people can see. What up, Ashley? How are you doing? Denny Mo, what up? Denny Mo was traveling today, so y'all who are fans of Insulting Dennis, he is not on today. I don't know. Some of you guys might be sad. Some of you guys might be happy, but he is not on today. Also, Chris is not on today. He had to do daddy duties. I think it was like a banquet or something for his kids. And then
Mr. Mom.
Cliff. What up, Leaf? What up, Mimi? And then Cliff.
Beef.
Yeah, Cliff. I was trying to say Leaf and Cliff at the same time. Cliff is at a church function, and Denise had something for her kids. So the show must go on. And Shai just walked off camera. So I'm here, man. Welcome to the It's Mental Podcast. Share this with somebody, tag somebody, tell them to watch the show. And I think there's an option for pressing stars. I don't know what it does, but press them stars in the comment section, please. Show us some love that way while Shy gets herself together. I don't know what Shy got going on tonight, y'all. She's all over the place. So we had a dope show planned for y'all. We were actually going to talk about men's health, spiritual health, mental health, physical health, sexual health, mental health, all of that stuff. But all of the men could not get on tonight, so we can't talk about mental health for men if all of the men are not available and it's just me and Shy. But me and Shy said, you know what, we're finna go on here, we're finna talk to y'all, and we here. So make sure you're subscribed to us on YouTube. Look up It's Mental Podcast anywhere on all platforms, Twitch, Facebook, Instagram. We live on Instagram. Say what's up to me on Instagram if y'all there.
What up, though?
And yeah, so Shy, let me tell you about my day first while people are coming on real quick. So,
Okay, what happened?
so you know I'm a DJ, right? And
Uh-huh.
so I wanted to put some songs on a hard drive, and I was like, oh, it's in my DJ bag in the car. So I go to the car, try to get the hard drive. I'm like, oh snap, my backpack not in here with my laptop. I'm looking, I'm turning on light. I'm like, I know I didn't bring it in the house. I had a gig Sunday. I know I didn't bring it in the house. I'm tripping, right? I'm going
Okay.
nuts. Then I'm like, oh snap, I think somebody stole it out my car, right?
What?
So then you know how with Apple products you can look up and see find my like laptop or whatever, right? So I looked at
Right.
find my. It's about an hour and a half away. I felt it logged into Wi-Fi yesterday, 14 hours ago from when I saw it, like an hour and a half away from me. I'm like, there's no way, because that means they would have stole it from my car while I was home, and it couldn't happen. My car's in the garage all day
Okay.
yesterday. So what I realized is I left it at an event on
Um,
Sunday. And so I'm like, oh shoot, I hope that's somebody from the event that grabbed it.
right.
So I hit up the party planner. I'm freaking out, right? So first, my wife was gonna go out there to the address where we found it at and like
Uh-huh.
start knocking on doors for me to try to get it back. But then the party planner was like, "Oh yeah, someone did say they found a backpack." She sent me a picture. I was like, "Yes, that's my backpack."
Yeah.
So I got it back. So woo!
Yay!
Like, I would have to start from scratch. Like all my music would have been gone.
You better back that stuff up,
It's on
BENZI.
a hard. It is backed up. That is the whole story. What else? I mean, you went and got it. You went and picked it up. Yes, Mimi, you went and
Hey,
got it.
Manira.
I don't know what other.
You be saying her name right. Is it Manira?
Yeah. Yep, you said absolutely right.
It's so pretty.
So yeah, that's my story of heart palpitations today.
I'm so glad that turned out well for you.
Man, because I don't even know if I'd have been able to have a show tonight because I'd have been freaking out. I'd have been tripping. I'd have went to the store and bought me a laptop, trying to download as much music as I can. It'd have just been Mimi went and got it. Dennis, Mimi went and got it. So yeah, but anyway, how was your day, Shy?
Oh man. I don't even know. I don't know.
No.
Well, I work with children, so
yeah.
it's always something with those children.
I trust me, I know.
And with the behavior and
listen, I understand what you mean. Now, I want to talk about the conversation we had earlier today, right? Or I guess it started yesterday and we were talking about it today, right?
Right.
And so it kind of, I don't know where it stemmed from you, but I started thinking about how Jay-Z is in what's up, Cliff? How Jay-Z is like in the news right now and they're trying to pin this rape of a 13-year-old back 20 years ago on him, right? Like,
wow.
Yeah. So I don't know all the ins and outs of that story, but he is firmly denying that any of that ever happened, like with confidence. But we got talking about the difference between, give me the two terms, pedophilia and what's the other one?
I think it's ephebophilia.
Ephebophilia, right? And
yes.
I was like, Shy, what is that? I didn't even know. She was like, we get pedophilia. This is going to relate to men, though. Don't go nowhere. This is going to relate to men. I think it relates to all people, but it can really, really relate to men. What's the difference between, say the word again, ephebophilia? Ephebophilia.
Yeah.
Ephebophilia and pedophilia, right? So ephebophilia, when I looked it up, it's basically you are attracted to, want to be intimate with a minor, but the minor is between the ages of 15 and 19, right? That's kind of what you're attracted to, versus pedophilia, where it's like literally a child. I mean, they're all children,
right?
You have a 15-year-old who can look like an adult or who may have features of an adult, right? May or may not, but they're still a child, right? Don't get me wrong. I'm not excusing any of this behavior, generally. I'm just trying to explain to y'all for context. And then you have pedophilia, where we talk about from birth to 14-year-olds. Am I right in that explanation, Shy?
I would have, listen, there are several terms, they keep changing it, right? So when I was looking at it, ephebophilia was the attraction to like right before young adults, right before you hit young adults and you're like maybe 17, 16, 15, 14.
Right.
And then pedophilia is prepubescent children who've not yet, like with a girl who's not yet had menses or anything like that. But they keep adding different categories, right? So when we were talking about this and I was looking it up, I noticed that they've added one in the middle.
What?
So they've actually, what is it? Hebophile?
A hebophile. What is a hebophile? What is a hebophile?
So they split it up from, let me see.
So the pedophiles must be real young.
Pedophiles is really young. Hebophiles in the middle, and then ephobophile is the older.
That's like crazy.
Teenagers. Yeah.
And we talked about this, and I was like, we were saying how, like, it's all illegal, right? We all know in I guess every state it's illegal. 17 and a half and below, you cannot have sex with someone over 18 and up, right? It's illegal. But we're also talking about how R. Kelly is like the face of pedophilia, in the Black community. And now I guess Diddy, I mean, I don't even know if pedophilia is you attach Diddy to that, right? Just maybe just disgusting sex behavior all the way around with Diddy. I don't really know everything he was into.
It's a lot going on with that story.
There's a lot going on with that story, right? Ephedophilia, Cliff. The word you put in there, the E one, the ephilia. The ephilia is like 15 through 19. 15 through 19 is that age group. Maybe you have 14 through 17 on Wikipedia. I saw had 15 through 19. Shai said 14 to 19. So it's that older age of teenage before you become an adult, right?
Right.
But we were talking about how, like, in the Black community, I know personally a lot of women, a nice chunk of women that I know that has either lost their virginity when they were in a teenager to someone that was over 18, over 21, or when they were teenagers, they had sex with a man who was over 21 years old. And Dennis, I didn't say 19 was illegal. No, that's not what I'm saying. Basically, the 19 age group is like if you're older, like let's say you're your age, right? You like 60 something, right, Dennis? No, you mid 40s, right? You mid 40s, mid to late 40s, 46, 47, and you want a 19-year-old. That's goes to ephedophilia, right? Where it's not illegal, but it's still that age group, right? Adults in high school, pretty much,
right?
Because I know a lot of women, like I said, who have sex with men who are over 18, over 21, in their 20s, even maybe even college, and they're teenagers. They lose their virginity, right? And then immediately, right, we blame the men. Immediately, I mean, whenever you hear the story, your mindset, if you don't have to hear a story, oh, I was 16 and the person I lost my virginity to was 22, right? Immediately, he's wrong because technically he broke the law, right? He did. He was wrong. He did break the law. However, I'm going to give you an example of a story of mine where I did not know when I was 19 that the girl was 15. I thought she was 20 years old. She was coming to my dorm room. We were intimate. She was hanging out with me, like in times where a 15-year-old would not be allowed to hang out. So I didn't question the I can't even say the word. I can't even question her age, right? I didn't question, was she telling me the truth? Maybe 3-4 months into us, dating, talking, messing around, whatever you want to call it at that age, her mom had to tell me that she's only 15 years old. Her mom called and told me, and her mom was like, don't worry, you're not going to be in trouble. I know you didn't know. We're not getting police involved or nothing like that. But, it came from her. And this 15, 16-year-old girl looked like a grown woman. There was nothing about her that said little kid when I was 19 years old.
Right.
All that. All in the right places at 19 years old, right? And so it's like, if it's so hard because you don't want to judge. We don't want to ever blame a woman or a young girl to be saying that you're putting yourself out there like that, and you shouldn't do that, and it's your fault. We never want to do that. But also, we gotta kind of have some type of understanding of, or what are you trying to attract? You kind of get what I'm saying?
There's some perspective that needs to be had on both ends. I think, and Dennis, the legal age of consent in Georgia is 16.
It's still 16?
We're in the South, yeah. It is 16. And so that's the interesting part that I wanted to kind of examine, right? Because in the Black community, it seems like, and I know I'm going to get flack for this, right? I think there's a definite line to be drawn between the ephobophile, I think it is, the ephobophile and the pedophile. I believe, being a mother of children, that the mother of children, as if I would mother anything else. But I believe that there should be definitely a line drawn in the sand between those two, right? Because, like you said, you were 4 years away from that young lady, and she may have been, and I don't want to use this word, fast.
Yeah.
Right. I don't want to use this word, but may have been in environments where you wouldn't have never known what her exact age was, but you were looking at her. You weren't looking at her from a child's perspective. Right. You weren't being attractive to a prepubescent child. Correct. And what I wanted to highlight is that I think in our community, sometimes we are vilifying men for being or present themselves as ephobophiles, but they are not pedophiles. You see what I'm saying? And I want us to start making that differentiation.
Absolutely. And I agree. And Leaf said to me, why don't you want to blame them? Maybe not exclusively, but they need to take responsibility for behavior. And I agree. I think you're right. They do need to take responsibility for behavior. Again, any ladies out there listening, if this is a trigger warning for you, I apologize. But this is real stuff that goes on in our communities, right, that we should talk about. And a lot of times men get in a lot of trouble because I guess the law and how the law sees it, it's very black and white. You're over 18, she's under 18, you're to blame regardless, right? But if I'm a man, right, and I'm looking at this, I'm attracted to this female physically, and I don't see child, right? I don't see child. One thing I love about my daughter, just insert, she still looks like a child, and she's 19. I love that. Like,
I love when kids look like kids. I love when kids look like kids. And I told you, I work with children. So I see 10-year-olds in 5th grade who look like they're 14 or 15. Yeah. And they're 10. Yeah. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? So, yeah. And that goes to the parent as well. See, we gotta know, because I mean, I've been talking to a 10-year-old girl and going, why is your skirt so short? Why is your belly button showing? And she'll say, well, my mom dressed me.
It's interesting. I do a lot of, and I do a lot of bar mitzvahs, and in those bar mitzvahs, they're Caucasian, mostly Jewish kids, and the girls, they're white, they wear club dresses to these parties, short little club dresses, and most of them don't have no body at all. They're not developed. They're 13, 14, maybe, and whatever little bit they may have up here, they are pushing it up to the max, right? But they're not much. They still look like little kids. But at some point, them 13-year-old girls are going to be 16, and they are going to have maybe a little something in the back, a little bit more up top. And if you're still wearing that same club dress, who are you appealing to? Are you appealing to a 16-year-old boy? Or are you appealing to a 22, 23-year-old boy that sees the same type of girl that looks like you in the nightclub? Who are you trying to attract? Now, I guess the question is, though, once you find out that this girl is 16 years old and you're in your 20s or maybe even 30s, because I know a lot of my friends, when we would do that, especially in college, we'd be like, whoa, jailbait, I'm good. Like, jailbait, just be done, right? But sometimes, I don't know. I guess men continue. I guess they continue. And it sucks.
So
let me read some of these comments real quick.
Oh, sure.
Cliff said, as a pastor, I'm dealing with a situation now that the mom was pimping her daughter to males that are
ephebophiles.
I can't say that word. Ephebophiles. She's 16, but she looks 25, 28.
Right.
That's crazy, right? That's crazy. And then TC, she said, those will be my twins. They are big for their age, and people always think so. So they look older and they dress their age. I think that's great. I think we can't just say, oh, all the 14-year-old girls are wearing this. Yeah, but those 14 girls are straight up and down, but you're 14 with all of this and all of that. So it's up to the parents to ensure you can't wear this. I'm sorry. You 14 with body. You can't dress like all the 14-year-olds that's out there.
And so what I think we should do too in Atlanta, listen, this is the culture, this is the sex culture here, right? And I see women my age with lingerie on at the grocery store. So I think that maybe as a culture, we need to start looking at modesty a little bit more. If you look at now, Black Americans, we've kind of gotten away from that. But if you look at all the other melanated cultures, you will see a standard of modesty more so than we have here. And I have my theories on that as well.
Well, I want you to talk about that, because if you look at I wouldn't even just say Black Americans. Let's just say Americans, period. Period. We are less modest than most other cultures. But let's just talk about people of color, right? People of color, like you said, Black Americans were less modest. We more show everything. And you got a lot of like other people of color who believe in covering up, right? Covering themselves up. Yeah. But then you also have those, and I only know because of what I see probably mostly on TikTok, those other cultures where their women are basically walking around naked, like completely topless, because that's their culture. It's not a sex thing. It's not like, oh, I want you. It's like some of those African cultures. You see them on TikTok where they can be topless on TikTok because that's their culture, right? It's not a sex thing. I think the issue is that it's a sex issue. Women here are trying to attract men with sex.
And now, see, it's a culture thing. It's definitely a culture thing. And you know, again, when I speak on these things, the Black pride in me is always going to come out. We are living in another person's culture, right? Mm-hmm. And if you look at like a Caucasian woman, number one, they say Black don't crack, right? So let's look at that. Black doesn't crack. Right. So by the time, if I am a Caucasian woman, by the time I'm in my late 30s, I'm thinking, okay, so when I hit puberty at 16, I'm pushing them. I'm coming out. I'm shaving my legs at 11. You see what I'm saying? So it's a whole mental breakdown of whose culture are we really living in? And you know what I'm saying? So that's why I think with Black Americans, you see a difference than other melanated cultures. I was married to a Muslim for a little while. And I used to cover when I would go with his family. And in those environments, I loved it. And it was like after I was not married to him, I still inserted myself into that culture because I love the modesty factor of it, right? I remember being in a store and I was looking at, you know, you would say you were shopping earlier. I was looking at an item and you know how you're just kind of flip like going through the items and looking at the sizes and the prices and things of that nature. And a young man touched my hand. Do you know how apologetic this young man was for touching my hand in that environment? My hand, right? So, but I've been in environments of my own culture, Black Americans, where I've had my ass touched and no apology. No, you know, just doing it as if that they're entitled to do so. You get what I'm saying? And that's a mentality, not just with the women and the men. It's a mentality of our culture that we really need to start examining.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm going to read some of these comments. Leaf said, those men, I think he was talking about 16-year-olds. Those men are technically attracted to 16-year-olds, but they're most so attracted, I think mostly, maybe he's trying to say, attracted to overly developed young women, and they're not aware of their age. I agree with that. Right. You're attracted to the overly developed young. They look young. They're overly developed, but you're not aware of their actual age. It's very important that we consider how we arrive at these conclusions. I agree with that. Cliff said that depends, Sean. Hispanics are out here way less modest than Black ladies. Yeah, them Hispanics, maybe, I don't know how if you have them in the South, but out here
they also get married very young. So let's look at that as well. So if we are so that's a viewpoint that I have as well. Now, if I'm 17 and you're 22 and you're looking to marry me and make me a wife and we have children and we grow older, that's not really that big of a difference as we grow older. So, okay, now see what I'm saying? There's levels to this. You got to look at the levels.
Now, why have things changed? It's because I think, I don't even know America what the legal age was maybe back in the 50s and 60s, but I know in other cultures you could get married at 14 years. At 14 years old, I'm preparing you for marriage.
Yes.
You're preparing you for marriage. So at 14, you know, you're having your menstrual, right? You're having your menstrual cycle, which means you're ready to produce a child. Technically, right?
Well, so, you can start your menstrual as early as
11, right? 9.
Yeah, it's good. Well, the food and everything is making that age go younger and younger. So I get, yes,
right.
But the average age, yes,
right. But is it our culture who changed everything to where you have to be 18, 21 to say that, oh, now you're able to, you can consent at that age? But back in the day, people was getting married at 15, 16 years old. Right. So what has changed? Did we get dumber? Did we get
Look at this comment by Leaford. America over-sexualizes everything. That is so true.
That's the truth.
Because
sexual.
Even start looking at the LGBTQAI community.
Everything's sexual. Everything is sexual.
But like, sometimes people will be like, okay, you're, that whole like movement about you're a homophobe. No one is a homophobe. Well, some people are homophobes.
Some people,
but many people are not homophobes, right? We don't mind your sexuality. What it is it being just overly projected.
It's being pushed on us.
Projected in spaces where, like, at your job. I mean, if I can't come in and talk about who I sexed over the weekend, why can't you?
Right. But
just because
even to children, why are we pushing that to our children in school? Why are we pushing that agenda to children in school? I just don't think we should. There's enough outside of school for them to. The initials community. There's enough stuff outside of school for them to know about it, ask questions about it if they want to know. You know what I mean? So don't. I think you're messing with the minds of a child who may be being raised a certain way at home. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Because if you're being told at home, this is not right, this is not natural, this is people's choices, whatever the case may be, you're being taught at home, but you go to school and they're telling you this is natural, it's normal, it's okay. I'm getting conflicting stories. You know what I mean? So certain sexual things should not be pushed onto to children, I believe, especially children. You know what I mean? And then you expose them, you get their minds going. And so now at 8 and 7 years old, they know what a gay is and a lesbian is.
Transsexuals.
And, you're 10 years old and you want a sex change. What?
Sexually fluid. I'm sexually fluid.
What is that? What is that at 10 years old? You got 10-year-old boys wanting to be girls. I don't understand how does that happen? How does that happen? What have they been exposed to?
It's the thought process.
It's crazy.
But why do you like they were even pushing the transsexuals coming to the library and reading books? That's a simple act, but why? I mean, do you go to McDonald's in full drag, or like you know what I'm saying? It's only certain places.
If anyone on here is I guess like Chris said, Cliff said, the alphabet community and initial community, this is not a knock on you, what your choices are. This is not a knock. But we're also talking about sexuality and how it's affecting young people and especially our communities, right? And our communities, America is grooming and indoctrinating the kids and censoring the parents. You are
exactly
facts.
Bing.
Facts. Cliff, if I knew we was gonna have this show, we literally just decided the last minute to have the show. I would have actually had you on. This would have been a good topic for you to be on. But yeah, it's crazy. It's almost like you're shunned if you teach your kid right and wrong. You know what I mean? You have to teach your kid to be overly liberal about everything. And
why so many people are choosing homeschooling now? You know, because you don't have many rights. If they shut down that school in the middle of the day and say you can't come get your kids, guess what? You can't come get your kids until they decide they want to release your kid.
Yeah.
So the rights of the parent has continuously dwindled. And the right of the state over those children, as if they're wards of the state, but almost when they're in that building, they are.
Yeah. Now let me ask you this, Shy. I want to kind of go back to our old topic. We kind of
we kind of went all the way.
If it's too personal for you, that's fine. But when you were a teenager, under 18, did you ever have sex with someone over 18?
So I don't like to put my personal business out there, but I did tell you about one of my husbands. So I'll tell you about the other.
Oh, okay.
So I met my ex-husband when I was 15, and my ex-husband is 10 years older than me.
So he was 25 and you was 15.
I was 15 and he was 25. Now at the time he lied about his age.
Oh, how did y'all meet?
We stayed in the same neighborhood.
Oh, so y'all grew up together. So he knew you was younger.
He knew I was younger.
Oh.
But I didn't know how old he was. He had a baby face. He still does, actually. Okay. But like he had a baby face. I did not know he was 10 years older than me. You see what I'm saying? And so that's definitely ephebophilia. That's definitely, I've definitely been,
Now, how did you look at 15? Did you 15? What could you
No,
pass?
I was skinny. Yeah. I wasn't like, no, I used to wear my brother's clothes. So it's not always that. And I wanted to say that too when we were talking about that. So sometimes it is that. Sometimes I think the modesty, and I agree with that, but I always have to look at the dichotomy of a situation, right? So it's not always that. It's not always that the woman or the girl is putting herself out there. Sometimes these men just want a younger girl, or they're just attracted to a younger girl, and some men are attracted to younger looking women.
That's true. Some men are like, there are some 40-year-olds that they don't want to date a 40-year-old. They rather date a 22-year-old, right? So
Exactly.
that's a younger looking women. But here's the thing also, young women mature faster than men. So
I was gonna say that too.
So maybe it's not always physical. Maybe the interaction we had, right, makes, because you're maybe 15 in age number, but you're 22 in age acting and maturity and conversation and intellect. Is that your child?
Yes.
Maybe you're 22 in intellect. So now mentally there's a stimulation there that this 25-year-old male may have. I don't know. That wasn't me. So I'm just throwing it out there.
We definitely mature faster. And so again, I think it's just a case by case situation, right? And I think also, let's look at, and I'm gonna introduce another aspect to this. Prisons, right? Are developed to put Black men in jail.
Come on.
So whatever aspect, whatever we can come up with, to put these Black men in jail, because a lot of times you have a 19-year-old guy who's a senior who's dating, in some states, a 17-year-old girl who may be a junior or sophomore, and they will put him behind bars or bring charges against him.
Listen, a 19-year-old that might be, maybe you graduated late, maybe you have a late birthday, maybe you got left back a year, you're a senior, and maybe this 14-year-old comes in as a freshman, and believe it or not, seniors do try to pursue freshmen. They are easy targets. And now you have a grown man by law having sex with someone underage in high school. We're in the same environment. And
and so that's why our communities need to protect, that's what I'm saying. It's not always a criminal thing. It's not always a criminal situation. And we need to protect our young men between like 19 and maybe 22 or 23. It's not always a criminal situation, right? When you go to school, I graduated early, right? And so I was in school I was in college at 17.
So are you supposed to date a high school kid at that time?
So I was definitely there with 23 and 24. I was married at the time, so I wasn't really dating, but that's a scenario, right?
Yeah.
That's a scenario.
Absolutely. And unfortunately, I don't know. I don't know how this happens in other race communities. Does that happen? Do they send a lot of them to jail because of those situations? I don't know.
I would have to look at the statistics, but I know what I'm saying is for us not to condemn our own. And we do a lot of that. And that's why we were talking about the R. Kelly thing. And I've got a lot of flack for I'm an R. Kelly supporter. No, what I'm trying to say is R. Kelly isn't a phobophile. He's never said I want a 6-year-old girl or a 6-year-old boy.
Yeah.
But when we have people like, what's his name? Stephen Collins, the dad off of Seventh Heaven. You remember that show? Seventh Heaven? Stephen Collins came out and say, I like kids. I touch kids. I have sex with kids. He said it on tape. And Stephen Collins is free. Nobody has brought any charges against him. The Black community doesn't say anything about it. But we make R. Kelly the face of pedophilia. And that to me is it's an oversight, is a gross detriment to our society that we are focusing on these young men and we're putting them in jail, or we're focusing on older men who like 19-year-olds, right? And it's a case by case, because like we said, you have your mature 19-year-olds, You have your immature 26-year-olds.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So it's definitely case by case. Now, are there predators out here? Yes, there are. Are there predators in our community? Of course there are. And should we shun them, get rid of them, point the finger at them, put them in jail? Of course we should. But we need to look at these situations. It's not always cut and dry. Yeah. And for us to always, or I don't want to say always because I hate absolutism, but for us to many times vilify our young men, I don't like it. You see what I'm saying? They're already vilified in every single aspect.
Absolutely. When they wake up in the morning, they're vilified. Yeah, absolutely. Let me read some of these. I see some good comments. Denise said, me too. I went to college at 17. DeQueen Wilson, I gotta see who that is. I don't know if I know that person or not, but she said, I was 22. My BD lied to me about his age. He was younger. When I found out I was pregnant, he was mature for his age, so I was clueless. I was afraid his mom would press charges. She didn't. She said he is grown. She was mad. Oh, she said I was mad.
How old was he?
I don't know, but he had to be, I'm guessing 17. He probably was like 17.
Oh, wow. That was the reverse.
If the mom said she could have pressed charges, that means he wasn't 18 yet.
She said he grown. He could take care of that baby.
Right. Leaf said, our people rush to condemnation, unclear of facts. Black people play a polarizing role in the unkeep of racist, biased laws and rules. Absolutely. We punish ourselves more than anybody else, any other race. We're so quick to say, oh, the white man doing this and the man is trying to hold. We hold ourselves down more than any other race out there.
We do.
We do.
At this point, in 2024, we do.
In 2024, we do. Absolutely.
It is. This don't have anything to do with it, but I just want to share this story because it just happened, right? I was talking to a group of women and this lady said I'm see if I can make it short, but she said that something was going on at her home mode or something where she had to be at an extended stay. Why would you go to an extended stay? I don't know. But anyway, I want to go to an extended stay anyway, but I'm bougie a little bit. So she went to this extended stay, not the particular one she was talking about anyway, but she said she went to the extended stay. Something was going on with her extended stay. So she was having something going on at her home. Then she got an extended stay and it was maintenance issues that was going on at the extended stay. She went to let the management know. When she went to let the management know, they gave the number to the maintenance man to contact her. Okay. So the maintenance man contacted her, fixed everything, got her a discounted rate on anything. She said that he was kind of flirting with her. She had a conversation with him. He was nice. She used the words nice, tall, charismatic. Okay. She used these words. Then she said, well, he was creeping her out. Okay, I was trying to figure out, how's he creeping you out? A nice maintenance guy that helped you out, got your bill lower. You know what I'm saying? She said that he entered into the unit and fixed something else before she reported it. Okay, I was like, maybe, but if you guys were having conversations and you think he's charismatic and maybe that was coming off to him that you think he's charismatic or nice and tall. And she was like, he's not my type. He's a maintenance man. He's dirty or whatever. I'm like, yeah, he's a maintenance man. He's going to be dirty on his job, right?
Right.
I just didn't understand her like trying to vilify this man as if he was some kind of creep. Like she said, he started sending her good morning texts. And I was like, okay, but maybe if you weren't clear about your involvement, right?
Yeah.
Your intentions of where you wanted this to go. If you didn't tell him, hey, thank you so much for helping me out. But you're like a platonic friend, or I'm not really comfortable with you hitting my number. Now, why? I don't know what the policies are because I'm not in hospitality. I don't know why they would have given her cell number. I don't know. Maybe that's the only number she had on file. I don't know how that went, right?
Right.
But she actually said, I just moved. I blocked his number. I moved extended stays. I lost money. I'm so upset because the extended stay that I'm in now is so far from my job, so it's inconvenient. And he was a creep.
but first he was nice and charismatic and tall. That's what he was first.
Yeah, and but there were other women in the group that were kind of like supporting this. Oh, that was unsafe. Oh, he's a predator. And the words that they were using, and I was just like, amazed that it was maybe me, and we were in the minority. It was me and probably a couple of other women who were in the minority that were saying, no, you weren't clear with this man. You had conversation that could have probably been coming off as flirty. You just said he was nice, charismatic, and tall. You just didn't like he was a maintenance man and he was dirty on his job. So you thought he wasn't your type. That's fine. But you could have just, said, hey, let's just keep this on a friend level, a platonic level. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Extended stays are ratchet. Yes, that's why I said that. But still, that was a comment I was reading.
yeah, I see. You didn't say that. Right. But that, you know what is interesting that you say that is that men, we always, especially Black men, right? It's so easy to attack us. It's so easy to make us look like the bad guy. It's so easy to say, like she said, he's a creep, right? Or he, this, that, and the other. And it's always going to be other women or either other people or society that's going to come to a woman's aid to make this man be in the wrong and that woman just look like a victim, right? In any situation, right? No matter what. And like you said, we have to protect our young Black men because sometimes they're not educated or smart enough to avoid these type of situations where someone can accuse you of something that isn't the case, right? Let's just say you're attracted to a woman, you're trying to get to know her, you're pursuing her, maybe you send her a note or you send her flowers to her door because you like her and she's not being clear, but next thing you know, oh, he's a stalker, he's a creep, and he's just trying to find a way to get to know you, to talk to you, to something. But if you don't want that, clearly say, hey, I'm not interested.
Be clear. And I absolutely hate that, Benzi, because I'm a type that I like when men do this, right? I like the notes. I like the pursuing, right? And almost, especially in the area where I am in Atlanta, almost like a very, very huge percentage of men have stopped. They have stopped doing it because they're tired of being called thirsty. They're tired of being called like, oh, bothersome, or you're bothering me, that type of thing. I was walking to just simple. I was walking in a building, a business building, and a man was right in front of me. Right now, I'm a lady, so he was close enough where I stood back because he should get the door. We were close enough. Now, if I was not close enough, I would not have expected that. But I still expect that. If I'm close enough to you and you're a man, I expect that I do not have to touch the door. Okay? So call me old-fashioned or bougie, whatever you want to call me, right? So I stood there. This man in his suit stood there. We stood there. Looking at each other. He stood there. I stood there. He stood there. Okay. I start smirking. He started looking at me like, what am I looking at? So I said, aren't you going to get the door?
What did he say?
He said, oh, my bad. Like, he was like, oh my God, my bad. Like, yes, I'm going to get this door. I just didn't want to offend you.
Whoa, there we go.
I was like, what? So the women have done this to the men.
Yes.
I was so like, whoa, I never even thought about it that way. Like, why? You didn't want to offend me by getting the door for me?
Yes.
That's great. We have really put ourselves in like a fucked up situation. Excuse the F-bomb, but we really have, for those of us, for women, because we want to do everything and say we have our own money and all this. Who cares if we have our own money? We still, some of us still want to be treated like ladies.
Absolutely.
And it's crazy that so many women have come out and been like, oh, this toxic masculinity, and oh, you're creepy, and oh, you're thirsty, done all of this to the point where a decent man, because he was a decent guy, when it clicked in his head, he was like, oh, you're right.
Yeah.
But it had to click now because he's been trained. I don't want to say trained, but conditioned. That's the word. Absolutely. He's been conditioned to be like, this woman want to get her own damn door.
Yeah, absolutely. And unfortunately, I blame women. I blame women. I blame society. I think the feminist movement had a strong effect on why women no longer, it's like you reject chivalry. Why is chivalry not a good thing anymore? Why is it so
sad, Benzi?
I can get my own door. Then go get your own door. You know what? And carry that big old refrigerator in your house too, and put up and mount that TV on your wall, and take out your old trash.
crying. I'm not laughing.
I know.
I'm crying.
But it's really, it's sad. It's truly sad. And I think that we've messed ourselves up. We've messed ourselves up by allowing society to condition us to take away the role, the pursuit of a man for a woman. Mm-hmm. The pursuit of a man for a woman. They're conditioning us to not even be men anymore. They don't want us to be men. They don't want us to be masculine men. They want feminine men and masculine women.
Masculine women. It's switched.
It's switched.
So look, Benzi, I go deep if you want me to go deep. So everything is switched, right? And that's why I say, look at whose society are we living in? Mm-hmm. Because it just doesn't seem like for someone who's very in tune with culture, spirituality, it doesn't seem like we're living in our own society. It seems like we're living in someone else's society, mm-hmm. right? And it's funny because, I taught art for a few years, mm-hmm. and pink is not a feminine color, and blue is not a masculine color. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
Blues, greens, and purples are feminine colors. Really? Yeah, blue, feminine. The woman is associated with the moon, the tide, the water. Blue is a feminine color. Okay. Pink, although it does not look like a masculine color, it is just a diluted red, and red is a masculine color.
You're right. It's just a diluted red. You thin red out, throw some white in there, and you got
exactly. So reds, oranges, yellows. Even though they say yellow is neutral, reds, oranges, yellows are masculine. Mm. They're associated with the sun. Mm. And if you're spiritual, you know what the sun is. Mm. Right? You don't want me to go too deep. It's okay.
No, go ahead. I want you to keep going. I want you to keep going.
I'm just saying. So anyway, from the time, and my light just went off, but I'll fix it later. From the time that we're born, they switch it.
Mm. Yeah, immediately.
Immediately.
As soon as they find out you're having a girl, pink this, pink this, pink this, pink this. If you're having a boy, blue this, blue this, blue this, blue this.
Why would you do that?
It's interesting. I never knew that. I never knew.
Why would you do that? What's the purpose?
What's the purpose?
If you know, because
but traditionally that's not our culture. That's not
right.
That's not our culture.
Right.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
That's good. That's good. Hold on. We have comments popping up. My bad, y'all. My bad. Where we at? Oh, the Queen Wilson. Danella. I didn't even know that was you. Okay, I was wondering what happened to you. She had to get a new page. Yeah, you've been a faithful guest or listener on the show. I appreciate you.
I like the name Emil too. That's a beautiful name.
Yeah, we're friends on social media as well. Denise said it's far too scary to approach a woman in these days. You're going to be accused of something, and that's so important, especially for you, Denise, because you have two African American, dark skin, because it makes a difference, boys, athletes, and Elijah, her 15, 16-year-old is about to be a big athlete at that, with locks in his head, right? He got locks in his head. He a big boy. But these are some of the most well-mannered, educated, smart, polite young men you will ever meet. Denise might be a little ghetto here and there. I love you, sis. I love you.
What up, though?
Right. She still got that Detroit in her or whatever. But them boys, she raised them boys to act right, to be respectful, to never let someone see them and be like, and see them act a certain way, but that's a ghetto black boy. You will never see her sons and think that about them. They were raised so right? But it's important to protect them because at View, right, you got one son, he's 6 foot, athlete, buff, another son, high school, probably gonna be taller than that, big dude with locks in his head. Your initial viewpoint, how society views them, right, is a big, scary, heavy on the ghetto, a big, scary black dude, right? There's always points, unfortunately, against them. But what society is going to try to do is feminize them. They're going to try to feminize them. How can we feminize these big black men? How can we feminize them? They feminize us on TV. They feminize us in movies. They feminize us. Like, why are Black gay men being highlighted on social media? Why? What's the one that just be the one that done changed into a man or to a woman and got a boyfriend? Oh my God, they all over social media.
It's a lot of them. It's not one.
It's right.
It's not one.
Saucy Montana. Ain't that his name? Saucy Montana.
You got me. I'm so sorry.
Oh yeah, whatever.
Somebody tell us in the comments, because I don't follow this stuff. I can't do it. I even wanted to watch what's the one with the strippers? I liked the first season.
Down in the Delta where the I know what you're talking about.
Down in the naked.
Yeah. I forgot the name of the show. Y'all know the name.
What's the name of the show?
Right. I don't know. They know.
So I got into it because I really liked the little storyline on first season, right?
Yeah.
But I was just like, get this too. Like, I'm a behavioral guru. I'll be watching shit, right? Mm-hmm. So do you see? It was the second season, I think. So we were waiting, and I don't remember the whole storyline, right? But I know we were waiting because I like a good stripper too. Now I like somebody, yada, right? So we were waiting, and I'm watching it with some friends, guys and girls, and we were all waiting. It was set up for this girl to have this debut dance. P-Valley, yes, P-Valley was gonna come through. I knew he was gonna come through. So we were waiting for this one, top stripper to do her debut dance, and we were waiting for episodes, right, for hours for her to do this dance, and she was gonna come out for her final dance or something like that.
Oh yeah, I remember that episode.
So she finally gets up there and starts to do it, and we all tuned in because girl got body and she just doing it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And they, what's the word? They splice it.
I don't remember what they do.
They spliced it with another scene of these men getting it on.
No.
I'm talking about getting it on, get it on. Not just a kiss or nothing. I'm talking about getting it on. Now, we've been waiting. Now, imagine if you're a man. I'm a woman and it bothered me. So imagine if you're a man and you're lusting after this stripper because she got body and you wait and you probably watching it with your girl, whatever. Yeah. And you waiting for her because you like, yeah, she about to bounce it, whatever. So you having this feeling. Mm-hmm. Right? This sexual feeling, like I'm into this woman. She got melanin for days.
I see where you going, Shy.
You watching it, you all sexually aroused and everything, and they start splicing it with these dudes.
Imagine what that does to your mental.
What does that do to you psychologically?
Right. Ooh. That's deep right there.
What does that do to you psychologically?
There. Oh my gosh, that's deep. That's cold. I you know what? I never, because I don't remember that scene. I remember waiting for the girl to do her last dance. I remember that. But I don't remember if I ever saw the last episode of her actually doing the dance. I used to go back and forth on those type of shows. Sometimes it was just a little too much for me. But yeah. Imagine what that can do to your psychological mind. You don't even know you're being manipulated in that moment.
You don't even understand what's happening.
You don't even understand what's happening. Let me get you riled up, turned on, and then boom, throw you something gay. Are you gonna turn it off? Are you gonna walk away? What are you gonna do? I remember when they first started doing gay scenes or men kissing, I used to turn the channel, right? I don't want to see this. But now it's like, I just leave it on. For most times,
you've gotten used to it.
I've gotten used to it. They what's the word? Desensitized us to it, to where it's not as big. I still don't like it, but it's not as big of a deal as it was 10 years ago when you see it on TV. Now every show has a gay person in it, and you can tell that they're gay.
Every black show does anyway. Every black show.
Every black show.
And if you notice, look for the normal heterosexual black couples. Just look for them. Because they are few and far between. Yeah. They will have heterosexual interracial couples.
Yeah, they will.
Lots of them. But can you find a heterosexual black woman and black man? How many? Compared to a black man and black man, a black woman and black woman, a white man and a black woman. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that is something that, listen, that's taboo.
Yeah,
that is taboo. And listen, that is taboo and revolutionary to have a black man and a black woman in love, y'all. Yeah. Y'all say love is like, oh, love is no such thing anymore. Oh, love. Oh, he corny. Oh, love. You waiting for love? Get your money. Oh, I'm married to the streets. Oh, bros before hoes. They feed that shit. That shit. The most revolutionary thing in Black America is a black man and a black woman who have some black kids.
Absolutely.
I am so sorry. And I got rowdy and I'm passionate about it, man. Yeah. I wasn't able to do it. You see what I'm saying?
I feel like that's how you strengthen a community, period. How do you strengthen a black community? You get married black couples together and you have black babies. That's what you do. That's how you strengthen a community. That's how you do it.
So they putting you in jail. We didn't talk about everything. They putting you in jail. We didn't talk about the girls, how they come on their period later because they feeding you poison, right? They are turning you, let me not say turning you gay. They are supporting your gaydism and your homosexuality, right? They're making it normal for you to be homosexual, right? Which is fine. Look, I want to watch my words because I don't want to get like,
No, look, Shy, say what you say.
I'm just saying in our communities, there are so many different things that are trying to fight us from being just productive, loving, community building people and citizens, right? Absolutely. And it's just so when you see it, because like you said, you would have never even seen that, right? In that show. But I see those things on a daily basis. Sometimes I used to do this. I've done so many different things, right? I used to work with this place that was like research, right? And we were doing this thing about racism, and you would ask people, it was just so simple. Have you experienced racism today? Do you know how many Black people don't even realize they're experiencing racism on a daily basis through systematically?
Yeah,
they don't realize it.
I think systematic is the worst form of racism. The systems that are in place, the like I said, conditioning of the mind, the conditioning of how you should think, telling you how to think, telling you how you should act. All of those systems that are in place, that's the highest form of racism because you can't even tell. You cannot tell because it's not like a white person or someone else person calling you a nigger. You know that. That's in your face. You know that, right?
Right.
Or boy, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But it's when they smile in your face. I'm here for you. I'm going to do everything for you. We're here for the Black people. Mind you, they're setting up systems to keep you controlled, to keep you broke, to keep you in such a low-level mindset to where you can't think freely, where you can't operate. That's the true form of racism that's hurting our community.
Yeah, good times.
Yeah. And I think Dennis like, send me the link, man. Man, we about to get off, man.
You want to come on?
Yeah,
it's the same link, Denny.
Right, it's the same link. Let me go to some of these comments. The comments have been rolling. Okay. Okay, I think this here. There we go. Wait, no, I don't want to hide that.
I told him, okay. Pastor BENZI, Greg. I told him, Pastor BENZI. I say it all the time. I said, he said, better answer your calling. Craig said, you better answer your calling, BENZI.
Okay, I hear him. I'm gonna get to Craig. Hold on, because I got something to say to that. Leaf said, it's unfortunate that we've been tricked into competition when we should be creating and collaborating. This reckless competitiveness and lack of appreciation for the nature of what we are will be the demise of society. And then we have, let's see, Craig and P Valley was the show. We got that Saucy Santana. That was the person I was talking about.
You already knew.
Yeah. Craig and Dennis talking about that's why for the real Black man to keep standing. Yeah. Talk that talk. He said he loved Latinas. Get your Latinas on there, Craig. This man, go ahead, sister, let that light shine. There you go, BENZI. Hold on. There you go. Answer your calling. There you go, black man. Craig, answer your calling, Craig.
No, Benzi. I tell you that all the time. I don't know Craig, but I tell you that.
I know Craig.
I'm saying, don't I call you Pastor Benzi?
You do.
And you always ignore me.
I do.
Ignore me, y'all.
Leaf said, Black people have been blinded. They can't do anything without our consent. Again, our people are active, consensual participant in upholding these infrastructure.
Yeah, that's a good point.
That's a good point.
That's a good point.
We let them do it. We let them do it to us. You know what's interesting? I was talking to my wife about how some artists. She watches this show called it's a rap show with like these rappers and they're auditioning like with Ludacris and Lotto.
Yeah, Rhythm and Flow.
Yeah.
Mimi, I've been watching that too. That took us to bomb.
Right. I'm not a fan. But anyway.
I love it.
She watched this show and I overheard a part where they were saying how good somebody is because he puts his pain, everything he's going through into his music and they can feel it, right? They can feel how good it is. And I was like, that's good, but what happens when you no longer have that pain? Are you still the good rappers can grow, can continue to do it, can still be great, even if you're far removed from that place of struggle, that place of pain, that place of, whatever the feelings you had when you first came out, right? And I started talking about how women singers, right? Like Keisha Cole, right? When she was going through a breakup back in the day, she had every woman was playing. If Ye was breaking up with a man, they was playing some Keisha Cole. They was playing some Keisha Cole, singing with that raspy voice, all that. But now she can't put out a hit. She good now. She was in love. I think she just broke up with a boyfriend. She told me she just broke up with her boyfriend, whatever. But you can't.
She was just in the on the internet talking about that's why she moved from Atlanta. I was like, yes, because yes, yeah. She moved from Atlanta because she can't get no play. And I'm like, you Keisha Cole,
right?
What's supposed to be doing over here?
But yeah, it's like so. A lot of women they base their talent, right, their music. On whatever they're going through, right? It's not good music unless you're going through something. Your R&B singers, you're not going through something. So what did our R&B singers and rappers start doing? They start rapping about sex. They start rapping about raunchy stuff. They start singing about effing this and effing this one and having this man on the side and this man on the side. And now that mindset is overflowing into our communities. Right? Where you have girls who don't even desire to be married anymore. They don't want a good man to hold them down. They want to be ratchet. They want to sleep with 3, 4, and 5 different men. They have, like you said, everything switched. They have the mindset of like the man who wants to sleep with as many women as possible. They out here doing that in our own communities.
And they're broken, and the children are seeing that because they're having kids still. They're just not have the family unit, and they talk a good game, but they know that they don't want to be laying in that bed alone at night. Absolutely. They know what I'm saying? Like, if you want to be honest with yourself, you want that man next to you. You make up terms like toxic masculinity. And that, again, I don't think that comes from our community. I just think we grasp onto it because it feels good and it makes us feel better about our situation. But if we grasp onto something different, we could see this tide turn. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I don't even think rebellious feminism comes from our community either. I think
rebellious feminism.
Absolutely. I don't even
know if I even. Oh, Jesus!
It doesn't come from us. It doesn't come from us. That men hating.
That's that thing. Like, okay, see, y'all not gonna like me. That's that thing that what's his name? Our president, the old one, came out and said, if you're black, you're gonna vote for me.
Oh yeah, yeah. You ain't black if you won't vote for me.
That's that same shit that the feminist movement does. Oh, you're a woman. It doesn't matter if you're black. Yeah, but you're never tackling black issues.
Absolutely.
Ever.
Absolutely.
You're never tackling black issues.
Absolutely.
Because abortion, I don't want to keep going. We'll talk about that later.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later.
Because that's a whole nother story.
All in all, one thing that we should all, especially everyone on here, it looks like everybody on here is black. We need to protect our young black men and our young black women. Protect our hearts. protect their minds, educate them, teach them right from wrong. Don't worry about what society says. Teach them right from wrong, and teach them how to treat the opposite sex.
Yes.
Treat them how to treat the opposite sex.
Stop being so damn offended.
Yeah, stop being so offended.
Everything, like, stop being so offended, like, or feeling like you're gonna offend somebody. Like, if I want my boy to know he's a boy and he starts to say he can be a girl and I go, no, hell, you can't. I don't give a shit if I offend you.
Right.
Hit my inbox right now. Hit my inbox.
Absolutely.
Jay Sweetbaker, hit my inbox.
Absolutely.
Because if my boy, he's a boy.
Absolutely.
He got a penis, he a boy. I don't give a shit what y'all. I don't care.
I hate that one. I think, remember I sent y'all that video and I was joking. I was like, Dennis, these are the type of girls you want. It was the HRT, the boy that turned himself into a girl.
He keep knocking on my door too.
Go ahead. Let him in. We almost done. It's just crazy. It's crazy out here, man. But all in all, we done. Hey, we done. Let these babies.
Knocking on my door. I'm on this podcast.
We almost tell them I'm sorry. Let these boys, let these young boys be young boys, let these young girls be young girls, and let's protect our community, y'all. Let's protect our community. Let's protect our young men. And come on, tell them to bring them on here.
Hello.
What's up, man? How you doing?
Hi.
That's my twin.
Yeah. How old are you? Where you go?
He said, "How old are you?"
7.
You're 7. Okay. What sport you play? I see that jersey.
Last year I played basketball and I don't know, like something.
What else do you do?
And something?
Soccer balls.
Soccer?
Gymnastics.
He does gymnastics too.
Oh, that's what's up. I did gymnastics when I was young too. That's cool.
That helps with all the sports.
Yeah, dude. That flexibility.
All right, well, say bye.
Wait, what about this?
Say bye.
Okay. Bye.
Hey, y'all, thank you so much for joining
The
us.
BENZI.
Thank you so much for joining us, y'all. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. And we're going to try to get y'all shows all the way up until, I don't know if y'all going to get a Christmas Eve and a New Year's Eve show because that's on Tuesdays. I don't know. I'm going to talk to the team.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know, man. People be with their families and stuff like that. I don't know. We'll see. Hey, Shy, we held it down. Me and you.
It was fun.
This was fun. This was good.
Good. Very informative.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for joining us. Please hit that star. The stars in the comments. If you're watching on Facebook, hit those stars in the comments. Share this. Subscribe on YouTube. We're trying to get to 1,000 followers on TikTok, 1,000 followers on YouTube. We're trying to go somewhere with this show, y'all. We need y'all help. Love y'all. Peace.
Bye, Denise. Bye, y'all.
Bye, Denise.